So welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today I will be reviewing 3 from Hell. This is the Devil's Reject sequel directed and written by Rob Zombie. Now, my original review for this came out last year. We appreciate it if you guys did check out that review. Now, 3 from Hell. This is a very interesting movie. It's a very interesting Rob Zombie movie. It's a very mixed movie. It's one of the most mixed Rob Zombie movies. I thought Halloween 2 was. No, this is the most mixed Rob Zombie movie. I actually enjoy this movie. Now, I do prefer House of a Thousand Corpses or The Devil's Rejects. When it comes to 3 from Hell, I do like the story. I like the story. I like the new character Foxy. I thought Rob did a good job putting him into the story by, working him into the story. I thought the music was good. I thought the score was good. Now, one thing I will say, the cinematography, it's not what I expected it to. Yes, there are some cool shots here and there, but Rob Zombie is known for awesome cinematography. House of Thousand Corpse, Devil's Rejects, Halloween 2, all of his movies, great cinematography. That's something that you can credit Rob Zombie for. He knows how to work a camera. When it comes to this movie, there's not a lot of great cinematography. The directing, it's okay. It's not like the way the cameras. It's just some things feel off. Some things feel off, and I think part of that is because of the budget. There wasn't hardly any budget here. There was barely any budget. So yeah, there was like barely any budget for this film. So since there was barely any budget, obviously some things couldn't get succeeded. Um, the gore, the special effects, they were okay. There were some really good practical effects, but then we gotta go to the CGI. I thought Rob Zombie would never use CGI in one of his films, particularly for gore. I thought Rob Zombie would never use CGI gore, CGI blood, but he did in this one. I don't know if it was his decision. I don't know if it was a last minute decision because, again, there was no budget for this film, hardly. So I kind of wonder, was it his full decision? Because again, like I said, I really don't think it was his full decision because it just doesn't seem like Rob Zombie to put CGI gore in almost every single scene and just have like 2 or 3 like practical effects. There are some really noticeable, and this was my second time seeing this movie. The second time, there were so many more noticeable CGI problems. One of the biggest one, and the one that sticks out like a sore thumb, is the one where Foxy comes and saves the day. He shoots one of the guys in the back, and you could just obviously see that it's CGI. You could just see that CGI, and again, like I just, you know, so there are stuff that pulls me out of this movie. The cinematography's not all that great. I love good cinematography, and the cinematography really wasn't there. So cinematography kind of gets a thumbs down. Kind of some of the camera angles, kind of thumbs down. Um, I just feel like again, I love Rob Zombie's films. I just feel like he needs a new project. Like he needs a new project, and he needs to take some time um, away from film, away from music, away from everything, and just focus specifically on himself and what he wants to do next. Because I think that's what he needs to do is just really gain the passion back for film. Obviously, the passion is still there, but you know what I mean. And work with somebody else because he's been with Lionsgate for a good while. I feel like maybe it's time to try to go somebody else. Maybe go, to a very small company that will give you a big budget, I'm sure there are small companies that will love to work with him. You know, Rob Zombie's name alone is profitable, and I'm sure a small studio that are fans of his work will love to work with him and will love to give him a big budget, like the budget he used to have for House of Thousand Corpse, like he used to have for The Devil's Rejects or Lords of Salem. He needs that budget back for one thing. And he needs to get back in that mindset of that creativity that he had for Halloween, for Lords of Salem, for The Devil's Rejects. You know what I mean? Because again, the cinematography wasn't all that sharp in this movie. Um, yeah, there's a lot of things that pull this back. There's a lot of things that pull this movie back. Um, I may not watch it again for a while, and that's sad because again, I don't hate this movie. I have a blast with this movie. This is one of those movies where like I have a blast watching, right? This is one of those movies where I just have a blast watching, but there's so much stuff that pulls it back and that just holds it back from getting that 10 out of 10. Obviously, I give Rob, I've said this before, I'm pretty sure. All of Rob Zombie's films for me get a 10 out of 10. Halloween 2 Rob Zombie, that's the only one that gets a 7, I mean, a half, and that's my opinion. I'm pretty sure I talked about that before. All of Rob Zombie's movies for me, 10 out of 10. The only one that gets a 7, that will be Halloween 2, you know? So I'm a huge fan of Rob Zombie's films. I defend his movies. I think a lot of them are enjoyable. There are some enjoyable moments in these movies that he makes. You know, when it comes to Three from Hell, I just feel like some of that creativity that he once had has kind of faded away. Whether that be for this property or really, I don't know, but just feels like some of that creativity has kind of faded into the background. He needs something to spark that creativity. And me myself, I'm just saying that's some time away from everything. I'm just thinking of the next thing and creating the next IP. That's what I think. I think he needs a new IP and a new company backing him, not Lionsgate, because Lionsgate is not working for the guy. You know what I mean? Like Lionsgate's not working for the guy. So there's that. So my final thoughts on Three from Hell. I don't remember my original um, rating for this film. I don't remember my original rating because, like I said, that review came out October, September, November of last year. What I can say about this movie, it's enjoyable. There are some funny moments. Some, when you have practical effects on screen in this movie, the practical effects are good. The acting is good. The music is good. The score is good. Everything's good except for the CGI blood, except for the cinematography, except for the poor camera angles. Well, they're not that poor, but you know what I mean. When you go to, I'll be honest. When I go to a Rob Zombie movie, I'm thinking cinematography, great directing, and great score, great music, great gore, and great realism. That's all. That's what I think when I go to a Rob Zombie movie. This is not it, Chief. Like this is not it. I still enjoy Three from Hell. I think this is a enjoyable blast roller coaster of a ride, and I do enjoy it, but my opinions have changed drastically on this film since obviously this is my second watch, and I will say, still enjoy it, still love it, but not as much as I did the first time. So, what is my rating for this film? A eight, a eight out of eight. It's an 8 out of 8. You know, it. I really want to give this movie a 10 out of 10. I'll be completely honest. I want to give this movie a 10 out of 10, but I did not get what I was expecting from the cinematography. I was expecting better cinematography, better directing. I was expecting better gore. Now, like I said, there are some good practical gore, but when we go to the CGI gore, the gore is not there. I have a strong opinion about CGI gore. and CGI special effects. If you have a high budget, yes, of course you can make the CGI blood, the gore, the special effects. You can make that look realistic if you have the budget. But if you don't have the budget, I feel like it's just cheaper just to go the practical routes. Most of the time, that's more cheaper than just throwing money basically down the drain for something that's going to look cheap and not realistic. You know what I mean? So I give this movie an 8 out of 8. I still enjoy it, still think it's a blast, but I have my problems with it, and I think I may find more down the line, but I hope that's not the case because I still enjoy this movie. I have a blast, so yeah. That is my review for 3 from Hell. Give it an 8 out of 8. If you enjoyed the video, why not smash that like button? Please subscribe if you're a first time viewer, hit that notification bell, and until next time, I'm out of here.